The objective
Hello.
of this series, Workplace Excellence, is to reveal some of the practical truths about the workplace and also making it to the top and excelling, like I said, especially in the corporate environment. Certainly, your certificate will make a way for you into the institution. But beyond the certificates, there are a lot of things one has to do. And I believe that the certificates will probably give you 20% leverage. The rest of it is all about what you do in the institution. Now, we are looking at workplace excellence. I just looked in the Oxford Dictionary, which defines excellence as the quality of being outstanding or being extremely good or being an excellent achiever or doing more than expected. And so, having worked in the corporate space for over 33 years, I realized that we had, or people have, a lot of opportunities to excel in the workplace. And they miss out on those opportunities, and therefore they don't get to where they ought to get to. So I'm going to look at 5 key areas that one would have to take into consideration in addition to everything you have learned and everything you know about the workplace. This is based on my own personal experience in the corporate space. So I'm not going to talk human resource, job expansion, job enlargement, etc., hygiene factors. No, I'm just going to talk about practical things that I have personally observed, and I believe that will help all of us to move to the next level and grow and excel. So we are looking at 5 key areas that one can excel. We are going to look at the you as an individual. We are going to look at the task that has been given to you. We are going to look at the internal environment, the external environment, and also the God factor. I will support some of these things with scripture, just to reinforce the need for us to do those things. So first, my first key out of the 5 areas, I'm talking about you as an individual. If you look at Genesis 1:28, it says that, and God blessed them and said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue the earth, rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and every creature. So God gave us this mandate. So I want to talk about the you factor, you as an individual. As you go into the institution and as you work in the institution, or before you go into the institution, I believe there was something you took along. There was a reason why the institution hired you. And based on that, you had something to offer in the institution. So first of all, something you have or you had made the institution employ you. There was something that you brought to the table. If you look at Daniel 1:3-4, because of time, I will not read it, but the Bible tells us about the fact that Daniel excelled, or they were chosen, because 1, they had skill, 2, they had learned something academically. 3, they had understanding. 4, they had ability to learn. They had teachable spirits. So these were the things that made them to stand out. So as you are in the institution, whatever you had, for which reason the institution employed you, it is extremely necessary that you keep to those qualities. You keep to those values that you had before the institution picked you. So if you don't have anything to offer, then there is nothing you are going to give to your institution. And your institution is paying you because you are offering something to the institution. So 1, your qualification will make way for you. The other thing is your purpose. I'm talking about the you factor. And remember that God said that be fruitful and multiply. Subdue the earth. It's a mandate, it's an authority. Blank check that God has given to you. So when you go into the institution to excel, there is something that I call the PIPA principle. You won't see it anywhere, but it is what I coined myself. The PIPA principle. I call it purpose, intentionality, passion, and action. PIPA, purpose, intentionality, passion, and action. As you work in the institution to excel, it is critically necessary that you have a purpose. Why are you in the institution? Are you just in the institution for a job and to make money and take care of the family? Or you just want to build a career? I believe that you are in the institution to build a career. So today, if you are just in the institution just to make money, I encourage you to change your mindset, that you are there to build a career. You are there to progress. You are there to make an impact. You are there to grow. So you need to have a purpose while you are there, where you want to get to in the institution, who you want to be. This purpose will redefine your attitude and everything in the institution. The other thing is intentionality. Once you are working in the corporate space or wherever, and you identify your purpose, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to be. I had a chat with somebody who just got a job. I said, what? Immediately she told me where she wanted to be, straight away. So once you identify your purpose, I want to get here, you have to be intentional about it. It should be in your mind and it should influence whatever you do. I call it intentionality. You can't just lead your life in the institution and just be blown by the wind anywhere. No, you should know where you are going to. If you know where the goalpost is, you will intentionally, kick the ball towards the goalpost. The other thing is passion. Passion is what drives everything. So you may have a purpose, you may be intentional about it, but how do you demonstrate it? So the level of passion, genuine passion that you attach to your work will make you stand out, will differentiate you from your colleagues. That is very important. After the passion, you act. After the passion, you act. That is you as an individual. You act. You act by ensuring that whatever you are supposed to do in the institution, you do it. I want to take us briefly to the Book of Esther. chapter 4. And I want to encourage all of us to read it when we go back. Now, the Bible tells us that Esther was married to King Ahasuerus, and the Jews were going to be exterminated. And Esther was in the palace with the king. And so when Mordecai got wind of what was going to happen to the Jews, he sent a message to Esther that, Esther, you've got to go to talk to the king about our situation. And Esther's response to Mordecai was the fact that, I cannot go. The king, there is a time scheduled for me to see the king. And so I will be unable to go. Otherwise, I could be killed. And so Mordecai sent a message to Esther and said to Esther, Esther, who knows if God has brought you to the palace such as a time as this? If you don't do it anyway, salvation will come from somewhere else. But don't you think that you will be spared? This created an awareness for Esther. I'm talking about the Pippa principle. Immediately, Esther became aware of herself. She became aware of who she was. She became aware of her purpose in the palace. And the moment she became aware of her purpose, her mindset changed, her attitude changed, her pronouncement changed, everything about Esther changed. So now this very Esther that said she was unable to go to the king, now realized that she had a purpose. And then she was intentional about it. She said, what am I going to do to achieve this purpose? And she sent a message to Mordecai. She said, Mordecai, pray for me. Let all the Jews begin to pray. I'm also going to pray with my mates. So there was a purpose, and she became intentional that I will do something. So when you are in the workplace, once you know your purpose, you want to build your career, this is where you want to get to. In the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, be intentional about where you want to go to. Now, not only that, but Esther was passionate about what she was going to do. And she said that I am going to go to the king. It was the passion that drove her. The lady that said she could not go now began to change her confession. She said, I am going to go to the king. And if I perish, I perish. Just the identification of her purpose changed everything. And so this underscores the power of identification of your purpose in the workplace. Otherwise, you will be an ordinary person. And not only did Esther identify her purpose and walked in intentionality and also spoke with passion, she backed it with action by moving to see the king. And therefore, the Pippa principle works. I encourage you that when you are in the institution where you are right now, begin to ask yourself, where do I want to get to? It will change a lot of things. Also too, your self-confidence, the you factor, your self-confidence in the institution will make a difference, because leaders and your bosses want to work with people who are confident. Remember, you have a career. You are aspiring to be a leader. You are aspiring to excel. Leaders are bold. Leaders are confident. So you also have to be confident. Esther was confident enough, and she went to the king. Also too, about the you factor, your personal branding. You know, people, the moment people see you, they make a judgment. In working in the corporate environment, you can make a determination about who will excel and who will not excel, just by virtue of the way they dress, the virtue of the way they walk, by virtue of the way they talk, by the way they think, how they do things. So it is important that you have a very positive brand. You brand yourself well in the institution, by way of the quality, your appearance, the way you do your things, your attitude. All these things will brand you and make people have a very good perception about you, so that when there is an opportunity, you will be the obvious choice, or at least you will be identified. Also, to your attitude. Attitude is key in everything. So you need to maintain a very good attitude. Your attitude is your behavior, is your actions towards particular situations and circumstances that take place in the environment. And people are watching you. By the day, they are watching you. So you need to maintain a very, very good attitude. When there is a task to be done, are you a team player? Do you condemn it? Do you say, what is this policy about? I cannot do this. It is all negative. No leader will want to work with a person like this. Remember, Esther's attitude changed. The moment she changed her attitude, everything changed. And looking at the question of attitude, when you go back, I will encourage you to look at Matthew 25, from 24 to 26, where somebody was going somewhere and he gave talents to 3 people. He gave 5, he gave 2, he gave 1. And the one who had 5, had a positive attitude and traded with it. The other 2 had positive and traded with it. The one with the 1 had a negative attitude. He began to moan. And he said, who is this man? I will not sit down for my bosses to cheat me. Am I the one to work for you to make money and all that and all that? And he decided to bury it. Wherever you are in the institution, attitude, positive attitude will pay. It will pay for everything. It will pay for everything. So maintain a positive attitude. It is good. It will take you very far. Look at things from a positive perspective. Be cooperative. Get things done. Be proactive. Have a positive influence. Even the kind of people you associate yourself with, even in the environment, will show whether you are going somewhere or you are not going anywhere. It is important for you to have all these things in mind. Attitude pays. It doesn't matter where or the role you are playing in the organization. Attitude will make a difference. If you think that you are working in a role, that is not your role. You think you should be higher. You should be a manager. You should be a supervisor. You've been put in the clerical grade. It is an opportunity to prove to people that I am more than what I am doing. But you don't recall another have an attitude that, no, look at the job they've given me. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. It's going to affect you. So have a positive attitude. Appreciate what has been given to you, because there are so many people that are out there that don't have jobs to do, and they wish they were doing what you are doing. So I believe that you will be like the men with the 5 and 2 talents, that whatever you have in the institution, whatever role you are playing, you will put your best to it and excel in it. Now, I'm going to number 2. One other area is the task that you have been given. Your work. Remember, that is why you went to the institution. Remember, you are pursuing a career. Remember, the institution believes you have something. So I say that be ahead. Be ahead of your boss in terms of the task that you have been given. Be ahead of your boss in terms of initiative. Be ahead of your boss in time of delivery, in delivery of your work, in the quality of your work. Remember, Daniel distinguished himself. If your boss gives you a task and you are not ahead of your boss, and your boss will come and ask you, where is the job I gave you? It is a failure. You should be at a place where you will say to your boss, this is the work, rather than your boss saying, where is the work I gave you? Okay, so please be ahead. So the quality of your work, the quality of your work, your initiative that you give, the suggestions, dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's, reading over your work every now and then, ensuring that what you give is best. But when you take your job to your boss, he has to cancel this, cross that, this is not it. That is when you have a responsibility. Take your time, think through it and say, how best can I deliver? And these days, there's information littered all over the place. And there are people that can also help you to achieve. Now, once you distinguish yourself, you will make a difference. You can also do that by adding value, by learning. Because most of the time, if you don't know what to do and you don't have information and knowledge, you will do anything. So it's good to add value to yourself so that you can provide quality work to your boss. You need to be honest and work with integrity and be very professional, very, very professional about your work. If you look at Proverbs 22, verse 29, it says that, do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before mere men. So the dexterity, the skill that you use in your work will get your boss to recommend you even to other people. So that is about the task, the quality of the tasks. I'm also going to number 3, driver 3 or area 3 or key 3. It is the internal environment. The internal environment, now we are working in a new normal. It is the digital space. But the internal environment, your working environment, your working space, you need to know that that can define your future. That can define your progress. Now, it is important that you know what is going on in the institution. You know the culture of the institution. You know what the institution believes in. There is what we call tacit knowledge. There are things that are not written in most institutions, but they are there, they are tacit. So when you just walk into an institution and you are here, you are there, you are doing this, no. You need to be in the know of the institution, what the institution stands for, what the institution believes in. You need to know the vision of the institution, the mission, the culture, the values, the principles, the guidelines. It is critically important that you know this about the institution. It is also good that you know who the key players are in the institution, who can give you help, who can give you support. You need to know that. It is also extremely critically important for you in the working environment to be a good team player. I'm telling you, a good team player. No leader, I'm telling you, in leadership, 15% or maximum 20% is all about your knowledge and your skill. Everything else is all about your relationship. So to be promoted, I have been in meetings in various institutions where people are being considered for promotion, but they say this person has a bad personal attitude, personal relationship with people is not good, because leadership is all about influence, how you can influence people to get things done. So try and be a good team player, having a good relationship with everybody, trying to support everybody. And once you do that, this will take you extremely very far in the institution. You support people when they are doing things. You demonstrate that you care for people. You work as a team. You should not be seen quarreling one day with this person, quarreling with that person. Look, listen, the internal environment. When people go to places they are eating, there is a discussion. When people go out to play golf, members, there is a discussion. If your name may come up, what will be said about you. That is the internal environment. So you need to take all these things into consideration when you are working in the internal space. That will help you. Also too, I've talked about the internal environment. Also to the external environment. I'm telling you, there is a gold mine in the external environment. In the external environment. Remember that you are building a career. And so you don't limit your life to your current working place. You don't limit yourself to your existing place. Remember, God said that be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. So you have the whole world, and we are living in a global village. So stretch and spread your tentacles to other areas. Explore the options that are available in the external environment, nationally, internationally, international organizations, how they are doing, and make the attempt of finding out. Also, you need to make very good use of the internet. The internet now is a gold mine of opportunities. So don't stick alone to your institution. Use the internet to find out what is available. Also, your network. You need to strengthen your external network, those that you are connected to outside your institution, because they may connect you, they may hear about something, and do you know this? I can do this for you. You know, you don't have to limit yourself only to that small space. There is so much you can gain from the external environment. And then also the perception of people about you in the external environment can also make or mar you. When somebody mentions your name to somebody, they will want to know who you are. So the first place they will go to is the internet. They will go on the internet and check on who is Magdalene. And here you are, nude. Here you are with certain comments and things. Remember, first impression counts. They will not call you. So be very mindful of the external environment. If you are hearing me and you are not on LinkedIn, I encourage you to position you. There are so many opportunities that you need to take advantage of. So make very good use of the social media as much as possible regarding the external environment. There are opportunities. Take advantage. Use your network. Use the social media. Use your own information and connection, so to say, of people. Find out about what is going on in the external environment. And I believe that once you have positioned yourself and you are intentional about it, certainly opportunities will come, your way, and you will take advantage of that. You need to progress. I've heard about people have been in this role for a long time, 16 years, 20 years, and nothing is happening. No, that should not be the case. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have, and you will soar like the eagle. Also too, the God factor. The God factor will play a very key role. Remember that the workplace is fraught with so many challenges. There are people may not like you, your boss may not like you, you may not have favor, rumors about you, all sorts of things about you. I mean, it's there, it's normal. But you need to come to that place of depending on the hand of God. You need to come to that place of the God factor, in your life. If you look at Proverbs 3:5, it says that trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. He says that in all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. So in the work environment, and in fact, every area of your life, there are challenges. You will have the pharaohs over there. You will have the tax masters there. But there is a hand, there is a God that will deliver you. So don't ignore the God factor. Don't ignore the fact that the Lord God is there. Deuteronomy 8:18 says that remember the Lord your God, for it is he that gives you the power to make wealth. So I encourage you that you make the Holy Spirit central to the workplace. The job you have, somebody is eyeing it. You don't know what people are doing, but it's all over the place. You cannot discount it. But once you place your life into God's hands, he will come through and he will cause you to excel. If you look at Philippians 4:6, it says that, and be anxious for nothing, but in all things, by prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving, you should make your requests known to God. And his peace that passes every human understanding will keep your heart and it will keep your mind. In everything we do, God will give you peace. It is also good, I will encourage you also to pay your tithe. As a Christian, pay your tithe. You want to make a case and say to God that, God, whatever I'm getting, I'm also contributing to the growth of your church. So remember the God factor. In my whole career, the God factor has played a role. After my prayer, my quiet time, and etc., as I'm on my bed, the Spirit of the Lord will be downloading, ideas, information, and directing me on things to do. So never ever ignore the God factor. Remember that there is so much you can do. To conclude, there are things that I will encourage you to take into consideration. Now, your time, what you do with your time. Is a social media taking away all your time? You need to know the things that are urgent, the things that are important. And you spend your time. You don't wake up and then you're on the phone throughout. You can study, you can do so many things. You also need to be mindful of the rest, resting your body. Because if you are sick all through and out, you will not be able to make an impact in the workplace. Make time for your health, make time for your family, make time for your children. It is all part of the game. And also I encourage you to get involved in the things that are done in the institution. Be part, committees, meetings, etc., things that are being volunteered. You are part of it. It's very, very important. Like I also said, the digital space is there for all of us. Take advantage, upgrade yourself. Google documents, etc., PowerPoints, all these things, they should be at your fingertips because the world has changed. So you also have to change as much as possible in your life. It will make a whole world of difference. Like I said, you need to upgrade yourself. That is very, very key. And it should be continuously upgrading yourself. It is critical that you also get a mentor in the institution. There are times that things could go bad and all that, but there should be somebody that you can confide in. There can be somebody that will help you, navigate your way through. So have a mentor, somebody that is senior, that will be your friend, that if there are challenges, you can relate to that person. Also, master the courage to surmount challenges. Never leave your institution because your boss doesn't like you, because you are not, you don't like the work you are doing. I just had a chat with somebody. He was looking for a job. Why? I was transferred to a department. I don't like it, so I resigned. When he didn't have a job and she didn't have a job. No, you don't do that. You should master the challenges in the institution. So have the ability to surmount challenges in the institution. One other thing is that never say, I can't do it. Never. Never say in the institution you are given a role, I cannot do it. You can do all things through Christ who has strengthened you. The internet has lots of information. There are people that will help you. God said, let us. So there are people that will help you to do the work. And it could be an opportunity, for growth and excellence. I know somebody in an institution, there was an issue. This person was very low somewhere there. The person, he took up a certain role and was helping. Suddenly, the person became a head of department because the person surmounted the challenges. So I encourage you to surmount challenges. Also and lastly, take risk. I encourage you in the workplace, take risks. You are being transferred to the rural area. You are being transferred to another country. You are thinking of so many things. No, take that risk. There are a lot of institutions that certain positions are only available to people that have foreign exposure, international exposure. So make a point and take a risk in your work environment. And I believe that God will help you. So this is actually has brought us to the end of the presentation. So we have looked at the you factor, the you as an individual, what you have to do to yourself. We have looked at the task that you have to do, what I call the PIPA principle. We have looked at the internal environment. We have looked at the external environment. And we've looked at the God factor and other areas that we can use or that will help us to excel in the work environment. So this and all other things that that you have read from books, I believe that will further help you to excel in the environment. So I want to thank you all for being part of this program.